Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of KSI Morning Brief. This is Mashood, and joining with me today is Imad to take you through the latest on world markets and news. To begin with, global markets. US equities slid on Thursday as coronavirus cases began to rise and after the commentary from the Federal Reserve. All three major indexes posted their biggest single day declines since March 16th. A much feared second wave of COVID-19 infections is becoming likely in some states as reopening efforts continue. Some of the day's biggest losers were those that gained the most on reopening hopes. Carnival Cruises, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian Cruise Lines all plunged. Airline stocks including Delta, American, and United slipped sharply as well. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 6.9%, marking the index's worst daily drop since March 16th. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 was down by 5.9%, led by brutal declines in the energy and financial sectors. Only one of the S&P 500's components finished in the positive territory, and that was the grocery chain Kroger, which was up a modest 0.4%. The Nasdaq Composite ended down 5.3% one day after charting a record above 10,000 points. The technology index closed at its lowest level since May 29. Looking at Europe, the FTSE 100 was down by 3.99%, the DAX was down by 4.47%, and the CAC 40 was down 4.71%. Asian shares retreated on Thursday as a gloomy outlook from the US continued. In the Shanghai Composite, companies related to cloud games, automobiles, and Tesla led the gains. Looking at acquisitions, JustEatTakeaway.com said it will acquire 100% of Grubhub's shares at an implied value of $75.15 per share. Grubhub shareholders will receive depository receipts representing a portion of shares in the new company. If the takeover is completed, it will create the world's biggest food delivery company outside China. The combined firm will have more than 70 million active customers who will place close to 600 million orders a year. The announcement comes after talks between Grubhub and Uber failed as their potential merger faced competition scrutiny. Just Eat Takeaway was created by the merger of the UK's Just Eat and Netherlands-based Takeaway. Next on Global News, we have Imad to bring you some latest updates.
Thank you, Mashood. The US President Donald Trump lobbied a broadside attack on Thursday against the International Criminal Court by authorizing economic and travel sanctions against the court workers directly involved in investigating American troops and intelligence officials and those of allied nations, including Israel, for possible war crimes in Afghanistan and elsewhere. Moving on to Europe, the UK and EU have said no major progress has been made towards a deal after 4-month rounds of talks with this year. Both sides are due to decide by the end of June whether the current deadline for negotiating a deal should be extended beyond the end of December. Moving on to Asia, China says it has reached a positive consensus with India over the resolving tension at the border between the two countries, where troops have phased off in recent weeks. Moving on to COVID-19, the total cases surpassed over 7.4 million globally, with daily new cases over 120,000, with recoveries over 3.6 million and over 414,000 fatalities. Looking at Sri Lanka, the total cases at 1,876, with daily new cases of 7, recoveries of 1,150, and 11 fatalities. The manufacturer announced the company will enter the third and final stage of its clinical trial in July with 30,000 participants. Looking at worldwide updates, the Russian cases surpassed over 500,000 with daily new cases of 879. The World Health Organization has cast a doubt over the total death of only 6,532. Looking at other world updates, the World Health Organization says the pandemic in Africa is accelerating, and that while it took 98 days for the continent to reach 100,000 coronavirus cases, it took just 18 days to get 200,000. That's it for today's updates. Join us again at 8:30 tomorrow for more updates. Thanks for joining us. Stay Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.